My name is Lauren and I work with Giveth. Giveth is a donation platform first, but it's also a donation platform that's focused on changing the way that we create and fund public goods. Basically change the way that we provide collective value for society and the way that that's funded. And actually we have a system set up right now where you give to 4 good projects and you get Give tokens back. So we're starting it with give and get back. And then where that's going in the future is hopefully to create systems where nonprofits and people who add value to society can become DAOs with their own microeconomies. And so it's a lot to take in, but at Giveth, I'm a product lead and I lead our comms team and I run our Twitter and I do all kinds of different things there. It's something I'm really passionate about and I'm really happy to be part of such a great community in Web3. I think the thing that excites me most about the future is just changing the way that society works, changing the way our government structures work, and creating systems that are decentralized, and so that what people are producing, what value we're creating for society actually stems out of the needs of the people. So it's like people creating for the people, and then I think as a result of this, we'll also be able to solve a lot of broader, global, complex problems, like problems with the environment or problems with our healthcare systems or education systems. I think that once we kind of start to decentralize where funding is coming from and who is providing these services, who's providing these public goods, we could actually just change the way the world works, where we create a freer society where people can actually take more time to innovate and grow and connect and heal themselves and heal the planet. And I really think that with what we're building in Web3 and specifically what ETH Barcelona is about has a lot to do with creating that future, creating that solar punk future for everybody. I think that changing the way that we think about giving is really critical to changing the way that we're building the world. I think normally in the donation space, donation requires sacrifice. It's giving and giving and sacrificing. It's giving and giving something away. But I think people who are like real true givers know that when you give something, you're actually getting something back. Like you give something and then there's like an energetic giving back as well. And what we're trying to do with Giveth and this first layer of give and get something back, it's kind of like an incentive for donation, but we like to think of it more like a reward. It's like you give and you get rewarded for donating. It's starting to create this shift of mindset or shift of paradigm from I need to give and sacrifice and to I can give and actually be supported myself. And I think that this is critical to rebuilding these systems we have in society right now that are all just leaning and depending on sacrifice. Challenges. I think actually one challenge I'm experiencing a lot is, we're all building so quickly in our small corners. So I think conferences and opportunities to connect with other people is like a solution to that problem. But the challenge really being that oftentimes it's we're all really running so fast and building a lot of really important things, and finding ways that we can collaborate and co-create with each other and with other DAOs, I think is really critical as well to actually succeeding, because otherwise we're all just in the corner building and only know what we're talking about. Give big plans for the future. The big plan for the future is really this turning nonprofits into DAOs with their own token economies. Basically moving away from the idea of just donating and giving away, donating to a project, but actually that you can, instead of donating, you can actually buy a project's token. You could buy the DAO's token and you can contribute to the DAO's treasury, and you can also become a shareholder in what that nonprofit is providing. So if it's a nonprofit that's providing some infrastructure, roads in a town that you're part of, it's a public good, it's something everybody benefits from, but it's also something that people in that town would be interested in. So that instead of just donating and then being okay, yeah, the road is going to get built, they can actually invest in the project's tokens and then have those project tokens and then be able to vote in how the DAO funds are being used. And I think that creating also these feedback mechanisms with the public goods that we're creating and the people who are providing capital and also the people who are providing labor and expertise, they should also be shareholders and be able to have the tokens. But I think creating feedback mechanisms where everybody can have an input in a decentralized way, we can create decentralized governance over things we all need and things that we all use. I think what inspires me most is the vision of the future. really the feeling that I'm working on tech projects and things that kind of feel good for my brain to be working on techie things with cool people, but actually building to a better future, like the kind of future that I want to see for my family and for my friends and for my kids. It's building like this ideal kind of solar punk future that I really think that we're all working towards. Yeah, you can follow us on Twitter at Giveth.io, or you can follow me at Karmatic Acid on Twitter as well. And the website for Giveth is just Giveth.io. There you can create a project, you can donate to tons of projects, you can check out other cool features of the economy and of our DAO and how we do everything there. So Giveth.io.